In today's video, I'm going to show you how to use text functions inside Make, the powerful automation platform, so you can clean, transform, and reshape any text data flowing through your scenarios. Make's built-in text functions are one of those features that separate beginners from confident builders. Once you know how to apply them, you can stop fighting with messy data and start building automations that actually work the way you intend. If you find this helpful, please hit like and subscribe, and let's get started. The first thing you need to understand is where text functions live inside Make. When you're building a scenario and you click inside any text or input field within a module, a small pop-up panel appears. That panel is your gateway to all of Make's built-in transformation tools. Look for the tab marked with a capital A. Clicking it switches the view from your available data tokens to the full list of text functions. This is a detail a lot of new users overlook because the pop-up defaults to showing your mapped variables, not the function library. So whenever you need a function, remember, click inside the field first, then hit that A tab. Once you're in the function view, inserting a function is beautifully simple. You just click the function name in the list and Make drops it directly into your field. You don't type it manually, which means no typos, no syntax guesswork. The function appears in your field with its parentheses already in place, ready for you to fill in. That brings us to the most important habit to build. Always place your cursor inside those parentheses before you go and select your dynamic data token. If your cursor is outside the parentheses when you click a token, the data lands in the wrong place and your function won't work. Click inside the brackets first, then map your data. It sounds obvious once you know it, but it trips people up constantly. And one more syntax note before we dive into the functions themselves. When a function takes more than one argument, Make uses a semicolon to separate them, not a comma. This is different from what you might be used to in Excel or JavaScript, so keep that in mind as we go through the examples. Let's start with the most universally useful function, trim. You call it as trim and pass in your text. What it does is strip any leading or trailing whitespace from a string. So if a form submission comes in with an accidental space before or after someone's name or email address, trim cleans it up automatically. This is worth adding to almost any field where you're receiving user input, because even a single invisible space can cause a lookup to fail or a comparison to return false. Make it a reflex. When data comes from outside your control, trim it. Next are lower and upper, and they do exactly what they sound like. Lower converts every character in your text to lowercase. Upper converts everything to uppercase. These are essential for standardizing data before you store or compare it. If you're checking whether two email addresses match or deduplicating a contact list, casing differences will silently break your logic unless you normalize everything first. Run both values through lower before comparing, and you eliminate an entire class of bugs. The capitalize function works along the same lines but more precisely. It forces only the very first letter of the string to uppercase and leaves the rest alone. So if someone fills in a name field in all lowercase, capitalize turns John into John without touching anything else. Now let's talk about split, which is one of the more powerful text functions available to you. Split takes a text string and a separator, and it breaks the string apart at every point where that separator appears, returning an array, a list of individual items. For example, if you have the string ABC and you split it using a comma as the separator, you get back a separate value for A, for B, and for C. This is incredibly useful when you're receiving comma-separated data from a form, a spreadsheet cell, or an API response, and you need to process each piece individually. That array you get back can then be iterated over in Make using an iterator module, which gives you full control over each element. The substring function is for when you need to pull out a specific piece of a longer string. You give it your text a start position and an end position, and Make extracts just that slice. One critical thing to know, Make uses zero-based indexing, meaning the first character of your string is at position 0, not 1. So if you call substring on hello with a start of 0 and an end of 3, you get back hell, the first 3 characters. This is useful for things like pulling a country code from a phone number, extracting the year from a date string, or trimming a long title down to a set character limit. Finally, replace is the workhorse for any kind of find and swap operation. You give it your text, the string you want to find, and the string you want to put in its place. So replace applied to hello John with a search for John and a replacement of dough gives you back hello dough. What makes replace particularly powerful in Make is that the search term doesn't have to be a plain word. You can use a regular expression pattern, which opens up the ability to match whole categories of characters, like any sequence of digits or any run of white space. That's an advanced topic on its own, but knowing it's possible is worth filing away. You've now walked through every essential text function in Make Trim for cleaning white space, Lower and Upper for normalizing casing, Capitalize for formatting names, Split for breaking strings into arrays, Substring for extracting slices, and Replace for swapping content. Together, these 6 functions will handle the vast majority of text transformation challenges you'll ever encounter in your automations. The real skill is combining them, wrapping a trim inside a lower, or running a replace before a split, and that intuition develops quickly once you start building. Save this video and come back to it whenever you need a reference. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.